r/AskReddit, what do you swear on your life to be 100% true? I bowled at 289. Friend that went with me is notorious for making up details. No one believes me. Disney made Frozen so that when you Google Disney Frozen you would get search results about the movie and not about Walt Disney supposedly being cryogenically frozen. It is the kiss of death to change lines at the grocery store. If I'm having a bad day, it can always get worse. You have to say this edible ain't shit to fully activate the edible. If my children are really into a fruit or a snack, the minute I buy a big box of it, they will be sick of it and never eat it again. Edit. I can see now that we need some kind of centralized lunchbox snack exchange system. I can trade someone 55 pouches of Welch's fruit gummies but only for Wegmans red fruit tape, which is evidently the new favorite thing. You can make things foolproof, but the world will make better fools. If you're running late, you will be stuck at every possible red light. Sunday does not have 24 hours. If your bus is late, spark up a cigarette and it will instantly arrive. John McAfee's body is still in a freezer in a Spanish morgue. Rocks are soft and squishy. They just tense up when you touch them. My life will get better. Time passes quicker the older you get. Do the things right now that you want to do, don't wait for later. The makers of baby wipes intentionally wrap them in a way so when you pull one out the container you get 2 to 3 and waste them because they are a bitch to put back in. The way people drive and the way they use a shopping trolley are directly linked. There's definitely something amiss in this universe and we're not ready for it. Stock market manipulation. You can summon your period by wearing white pants. That whoever threw that paper, their mom's a hoe. Reddit is a cesspool of misinformation. Every cart I pull at Walmart has at least one square tire. Being alone is better than having the wrong people in my life. Prove me wrong. They changed the Reese's recipe. That the printer will always run out of ink or that the paper will get jammed when you're already rushing and stressed. Happens all the time. Black bears are learning that they could benefit from a friendly relationship with humans after seeing how easy domesticated dogs and cats have it. They are in the early stages of trying to domesticate themselves. Source: none. I just see TikTok videos of bears being cute near people. The average human is an idiot. Back pain can make your life a nightmare. That disagreeing with someone's opinion isn't an attack on them. Earth is not flat. That I will die in a car accident on August 27th of an undisclosed year. About 15 years ago, a friend of mine told me about a disturbing dream they had. I had died in a car accident, and it was August 27th, they didn't know the year. 2 weeks later, another friend told me the same thing. They had a dream in which I died in a car accident on August 27th, again they did not know the year. Here's where it gets wild, these two friends of mine had never met. They did not know or interact with each other, had never been in the same room with me. They didn't even go to the same school, nor were they connected on social media. Back then it was just MySpace or AIM. So two separate friends from two completely separate groups of my social circle had a dream that I will die on August 27th of an unknown year. I believe it. And while it's certainly stressful around that date, it's kind of a load off for the rest of the year. Silver lining and all that. Aliens exist somewhere in this universe. People don't genuinely care about deaths of strangers they don't personally know or haven't met. If people had the option to choose to sacrifice 10 lives of people they have never met to save one they love, they would do it without hesitation. They probably wouldn't admit it out loud, but they would agree to it. My bidet attachment cleans my asshole better than TP. I went to DreamWorks Studios when I was 11 to give a presentation of my animation skills. Nobody ever believes me when I tell them that story. I swear I'm not making it up, it really happened. To keep it brief, I took an online animation course and the company that made the course liked it so much that asked me to be a model student for a business deal with DreamWorks to use their IPs in their courses. They flew me out to LA for free, I got a private tour of the studio, and I even got to meet 2 animators who were working in animation tests for Trolls, which came out 3 years later. I even got to see concept art for the Captain Underpants movie, which had just started development at the time. To this day I still think this is my life's peak and it's all downhill from here. Edit, if anyone wants to see the animation, here's a link to it. Edit 2, I want to clarify that while this is the animation I made, I did not make the characters, assets, or story. The course instructors provided all of that and told me what to animate. I just made them move. However, I did add a lot of unique details and elements on my own, such as having the secondary character throughout the whole animation and having them jump into the spaceship at the end. The inside of USB ports are designed to switch round to ensure you can only plug in USB cables on your third attempt after twisting it round, then twisting it back. About 25 years ago I saw a black panther jump across the road in front of our car. It was about 20 feet away and we just missed it. It jumped from out of the bushes on the left, landed in the middle and then jumped clean into the bushes on the right. It was about 4 feet long with a tail almost as big. This was at night and my GF and me saw it clearly in the headlights. Not being available 24/7 despite being reachable 24/7 is fine. I am better looking than my twin brother. If my morning routine is disrupted, the day is gonna be bad. History is written and preserved and distributed by the winners. Humans are capable of lying, twisting facts to show themselves, places and people they like in a good light. Modern world has PR agencies for rich and connected. Combine the two and history as we know it is a twisted version of what really happened. Oh. Jay. Did it? I look good in the mirror. I look terrible in photos. Epstein didn't kill himself. Everything is temporary. The war on drugs is what ultimately created the problematic prison overpopulations, and the crack and opioid epidemics in the US. Decriminalizing drugs, creating a safe spot for addicts to use, and give proper treatment to those who want it, would result in less crime. Just check out Switzerland. Since the heroin prescription program started in Switzerland, the number of heroin patients involved in muggings has declined by about 70% and the number of heroin patients involved in hard drug trafficking has dropped by more than 80%. https://www.ojape.gov/ncjrs/virtual library/abstracts/does heroin prescription reduce crime results evaluation Swiss. A sandwich is always better if someone else makes it for you. That current inflation in the US is by design. After COVID hit, the PPP loan program was used to give $800 billion in newly printed dollars to companies under the guise of saving jobs. Of that $800 billion, 94% of loans have been forgiven. But at least we saved jobs, right? Nope. On average, that the $800 billion spent on saving jobs resulted in a total cost of $170,000 to $250,000 per 1 year of a single worker's job saved. Meanwhile, the average American got $1/200th of that as a one-time $1,200 payment that's deliberated for months in Congress. As of today, billionaires have profited by $1.7 trillion, a 58% total increase, since COVID began, and the working class is left holding the bag once again. America is a plutocracy run by the rich, for the rich, and to think otherwise at this point is naive. Money does buy happiness. You cannot convince me otherwise. Sure, okay, it is not everything, you can be depressed and rich, but no one gonna tell me that money does not buy that cute stuff I wanted to wear or that delicious meal I'ma be cooking. Hollowing out the entire moon to build a theme park inside of it would be a good idea. Also, I'd turn the entire surface into a large hotel. There is always someone better and worse than you at everything. Be humble when winning. Edit, Bolt is a legend. Just as all of the world record holders through the decades are. Maybe not at this moment, but maybe tomorrow or next decade they will be someone better. My dad told me this when I was a young one. I always believed it to be true. You can't make everyone happy. That our phones are listening to us in order to hit us with relevant advertising. Too many times now I've been talking about something, or been in a situation, and an advert for it popped up an hour or so later. I write comments on Reddit and people read them. The Queen ain't in that box people are queuing 10 miles to see. No way would they risk and bother putting her close to the commoners. She's in a morgue elsewhere awaiting all this for show bollocks to end to be switched back in. I don't know what comes next, but I know I'll have to get through it one way or another. Religion causes more harm than good. Being alive is exhausting. When I was very young it had rained hard one day and there was this huge ditch thing in our backyard that got filled up. It was like a mini lake. I swear to this day a huge ass fish of some sort jumped out of it. Most people really aren't too smart. That's the nice way of putting it. A gigantic meteor came down over a field I was driving right next to one night. I obviously didn't get video of it, but holy fuck I wish I had. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. There are two really shitty videos people happen to get of the meteor about 30 to 40 miles away, but to see it that close is something I'll never forget. Once, at pre-smartphone times, I was sitting alone in my office at work, and I was playing with a coin while thinking about a programming problem. I didn't even look at the coin, just something my fingers did while the brain was occupied with something else. Flipped it, grabbed it from the table, flipped it again. Suddenly I realized something had changed. There was no tumbling sound after I flipped the coin. So I looked to my hand and there was the coin, standing on its edge, right beside my hand. I found that totally awesome, but then realized that no one was around and that my coworkers probably won't believe me if they return. Edit, I don't remember all the details from the office back then, but there was either a big table calendar or a college block I used to take notes on where my left hand rested and where the coin would land. I'm basically a left-handed guy, but I'm also old, so I was taught to write with the right hand in school, and I also use the mouse with the right hand. And I didn't flip it high in the air, just a few centimeters every time. Abortion is a medical procedure that only a patient and a medical professional should make decisions about. Prince Andrew is a pedophile. My girlfriend goes to another school. My dog is the most handsome boy. I learned. Just because something is good for the economy doesn't mean it's necessarily good for you. That my mum called my geography teacher, in parents' evening, a twat. Mum denies this happened even 14 years on from that event, but I swear down when it happened. I believe Anne Margaret has never been given her due as an actress. I was drinking and throwing darts with my buddy. I was messing around and held all 3 darts by their tips, and threw them similarly to how a samurai draws a sword. Think how Sheik throws needles in SSBM, from triple the legal distance. I made 2 in the outer bullseye, and 1 in the center bullseye. To preface, I don't believe in ghosts. After my grandpa died, I went to stay with my dad to keep him company during his time of mourning. We were both there when Papa had his stroke and when he died 3 days later in the hospital, so it was quite the traumatic time frame for everyone. My dad lived with my Papa as a live-in caretaker before he died. They lived in a small townhouse at the edge of a retirement village. After Papa died, my sister and I both stayed with Dad to keep him company. My sister stayed in the guest room and I stayed in Papa's old room, which is creepy enough, but a few days after he died I woke up in the middle of the night. I had to go to the bathroom, but something caught my eye. To my immediate left there was this extremely faint shape in the air. It was like when someone flashes you with a bright light and then suddenly casts you into total darkness and there's that imprint left on your eyesight from the light. It was so faint, I really did think someone had shone a light in my face to wake me up at first. But I stared at it for almost 10 minutes and the imprint didn't go away. It also didn't appear when I closed my eyes as light imprints do. It was only there when my eyes were open, and it just hovered in mid-air, unmoving. I wasn't scared. I felt safe and warm, and I did think it was my Papa in that moment. I still sort of do, 2 years later, except for the small fact I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe, but I want to. I rolled over and got up on the other side of the bed as not to disturb the orb-like glow, which really didn't glow. I could just see it in almost total darkness, which is why glow is the only word I can use to describe it. I turned on the bathroom light and went to the toilet. When I came back it was still there, so I climbed into bed and went back to sleep. Haven't seen anything like it since. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.